My name is Simon Fabry, and for the individual oral commentary, I'll be giving a brief outline of what is happening in the extract from pages 22 to 23 of the Glass Menagerie, of course written by Tennessee Williams. And the 2 pages of the extract take place on scene 3. So first of all, the text that is given is speaking about how Tom wants to go out and go for another movie run, And so Amanda, of course, is desperate to know why he always goes to the movies and, keeps on asking, I want to hear more of what you're actually doing in the movies. And, she's trying to find out what he's, running from or whatever. And, of course, later on I'll get into depth of that, of course. And then afterwards he starts speaking about his disappointments of working at the warehouse, the shoe factory. And so at the way beginning of the text, we definitely hear, how the whole struggle is going through the stage directions of how the whole scene goes. Her tears of the doors opening, and how the whole dining room is supposed to be under a red glow. It's obviously suggesting that there's a fight going on and that this is a bad mood or whatever. So basically it also suggests how sad it is for Amanda, because it says the upright typewriter now stands on a drop-leaf table, along with the wild disarray of manuscripts. And so basically that's trying to, pinpoint, Amanda's disappointment of having to work, of Tom wanting to, it's standing out because he wants to be an author, and it's how it's standing out to him right now. What's the face? Then right afterwards, the discussion goes, really into depth. He says, he's going out or whatever, and he says, Amanda keeps on pleading, no, please come back in, and what's the face? Basically, then afterwards, they each have a little monologue at the end of the extract. So the first thing that happens in Amanda's monologue is that she talks about why should he be ashamed of having to work for being the breadwinner for his family. It's an honorary duty or whatever, and they're both, Amanda and Laura are both very grateful for it, so he has nothing to be ashamed of. And then of course she uses she keeps on pleading, it's just really showing her desperation for him to stay. And so basically, then Tom keeps on, saying that, he then has his own monologue right afterwards, where he basically states how much he hates the warehouse and how much it's never been his ambitions, and, he's always wanted to become a writer or, sail on the Jolly Roger. Later on, you figure out that he does. And, what's the face? I think at the way beginning of the text, the literary devices or the stage directions is what really states the importance of the scene. The red glow to show that this is any climactic event sort of inside the book. It's trying to show the anger going on inside the chapter, or inside the extract. Sorry. And how what's the face? How he's trying to fulfill his dream of becoming an author, and the typewriter standing there on the edge, and it's also inside the red glow. I think it's very well done, actually. It definitely shows how clever Tennessee Williams is, and how he shows the outline of each character. And yeah, so what's it face? The fact that like Amanda is so desperate for him not to leave his job and not to leave the house once again to go to the movies, definitely shows that she doesn't want him to turn like his father, and doesn't want him to run away again, and because they're both very dependent on him. And there also the quotes that he says in this monologue definitely give a very in-depth explanation of like how he's feeling, how it's kind of like when he faces reality, he's he hates it, he's like, oh, every time you come in yelling to God Moores, I go, or what's the face, every time you come down, rise and shine or whatever, and he says, how lucky dead people are. And it's like, I think that's a very important quote because, he's comparing himself to dead people, and so he's basically saying that, he has no life, he's a dead person at the moment, like, his life is meaningless, is lifeless, and, I think that's a very important quote inside his monologue. And then, basically, he's stating how it's nothing, it's embarrassing how he's only making $65 a month, and, it is kind of, and, he just basically is, he uses, a lot of comparison and metaphors to definitely state his point of how he hates his job at the warehouse, how he's how his life is lifeless and meaningless, and he wants to do something else in life, and the fact that there's he keeps on questioning. He's like, you think I'm crazy about the warehouse? You think I want to stay in the Continental Shoemakers? You think I want to spend 50 years in that Celotex interior? When he says the Celotex interior part, that's definitely stating what's her face, how dull and bad it is, or shitty, and the fact that every time there's something bad he says, it's always written in italics, so it's kind of like and I don't know if it's like a stage direction or it's more of like speech directions, and what's the face, it's good for the, since this is a play, it knows when they have to really emphasize their, line or whatever for their monologue, and I think that's also, what's the face, really well done, because, every time he says something terrible, it's always in the italic part or whatever. Also, I think that, right before he starts his big speech or whatever, it says he bends fiercely toward her slight figure, and that means he's basically confronting her, He's confronting his fear or whatever, and it shows how, he's finally escaping the harsh reality of having to work in this the shoe warehouse, or what's it called? Continental Shoemakers, thank you. But it's definitely interesting. It's a definitely interesting passage, and yeah, basically in conclusion, Tennessee Williams in this passage is using a lot of stage directions to illustrate how horrible the fight is. He's using italics to emphasize each point and to make it seem more like an argument and to definitely illustrate it to the actors that are going to have to play it or whatever. So definitely show them what they have to emphasize on, and then also the constant questions or what's the face, the metaphors that he uses he's constantly comparing himself to dead people, or saying how lively their lives are and how it's sad and disappointing. And so all of these literary devices and stage directions and everything, they add a sense to the scene, how how horrible it is to face such a shitty reality, and how it's a very Amanda. It's kind of like Amanda's really mind living that life because she just wants to live, but she doesn't want to live in that way. So I hope you enjoyed my individual oral commentary. I know it wasn't too great, but yeah.